G'day everybody. Well, it doesn't rain, it pours. You may notice that I have the carburetors off of the bike, and that's because I ran into a little problem. Welcome to Basket Case. So what happened was I had them on the bike and I was just doing a final. I actually had a plan to try and fire up the bike last weekend, and of course that didn't go very well, and I had my little clear hose plugged onto the carburetors to try and just to make sure that for the final time that I had my float levels right. And one of them, this guy, which is the second carburetor in line, which is also happens to be the one with the vacuum advance pipework on it, was flooding, terribly flooding, and my T-pieces are leaking terribly. It didn't do it when I first set them up, but I didn't have a tank on top with a decent amount of head pressure of fuel in it, I guess. But anyway, so I've ordered new ones of these. Now that means I'm going to have to split the bank and pull all the carburetors apart, which is pretty bloody lucky because look what I found, broken post. So as luck would have it, I have another body for a number 2 position carburetor without broken posts. You can see the brass vacuum port on the front there. So when I split the bank, I'm going to rebuild this carburetor and put it in its place. Now you may not be that lucky, so what I'm going to do, I saw a fix for a broken post on a carburetor. Just saw a photograph in the background somebody put up on the XS1100 Classic Facebook page asking a question about something else, and I spotted it in the background, so I'm going to have a go at fixing it. So I have another carburetor here with a broken post. You can probably see the crack just in there. It is a common problem, and I thought I'd have a go at trying to repair this one, because it doesn't matter if it fails. I don't need this carburetor, and with a bit of luck, if it does work, then somebody else might be able to use it out there in YouTube land and happily repair their carb. So let's give it a crack. Okay, so I've stripped the float and the Neyland seat out of it. And it might seem strange, but I think the first thing we need to do is break it even more and bring it down, cut it off and file it down flat just down to the bottom of this housing here to give it a little bit more meat to play with. Using that as a guide. So I'll cut it off and fold it as flat and level as I can by eye. What I'm going to try and do now is drill and tap that and fit a brass screw that I can then shape and cross drill for the float. So wish us luck. Okay, so ideally I think a 732 metal brass thread would be ideal, or around the 5mm mark. I think 6 is going to be a bit risky, a bit big. Now I'm going to try and drill and tap it for 3/16 Whitworth, in the hope that that'll be big enough. I've already made a little pilot drill there, so what I'll do is I'll take that down, I reckon to about there somewhere, set the stop on my drill. one hole. Let's put a thread in it. Okay, so what I've done is I've clamped the tap in the Jacob's chuck in the drill press, put a little bit of downward pressure on it, and just started to wind it in, and that's it. I've got it started. I can take it out now and place it in the vise. Just turn it, and then you go back to break the... As it cuts, it creates a swarf as it cuts through the metal, and when you reverse the tap, you shear that. Otherwise it all binds up in there. Being very gentle with it. Kind of feels like it's bottomed out already. I don't think it has. Give it a blast. And the tap. Might try a little cutting oil. Yes, there are 3 taps in a basic tap set. One is a tapered tap, which you use to start your threads. One is an intermediate tap, which comes down a little bit less, a little bit more. It has a slightly less aggressive taper, or a more aggressive taper. And then you have what they call a plug tap, which is for going to the bottom of blind holes. And I don't have the tapered tap or the plug tap. Okay, I'm going to call that a success. I'm just going to put some Loctite on this. I would have preferred to use 222 Super Stud Lock, but I don't have any. So the 243 nut lock will have to suffice. Winding down till he bottoms out. Now, cut him off at the same height and then try and cross drill him. I'll try and cross drill him first, actually. What I have here is a brand spanking new 2.5mm drill bit. I'm going to drop just to help me guide. No, did not work. Went off to the side. Bugger. I'm going to call that a success. Yeah, so the 3/16 bolt was too skinny. It was too fraught with danger trying to successfully drill it. So I ended up cutting the housing out a little bit lower to a wider part of that tapered part of the section of the post there, to give me a little bit more meat to drill and tap for 1/4 inch Whitworth. And then I had to file the flat in between, cross drill, cut to length, and Bob's your uncle. So there's plenty of meat up in here. Just be careful you don't break through. And there is also you also forward enough of the fuel inlet not to give you any problems either. So if you've got a set of Mikuni Carbs and you have a broken post, before you run out and buy yourself a new set, I would certainly recommend having a go at trying to repair it with a 1/4 inch Whitworth brass metal thread. You could do this without a pillar drill, I think. You could, if you were careful enough with a hand drill, you could certainly do it. You want to take a rough idea of how deep you want to go and maybe put a bit of tape or something around the drill as a guide that you don't drill too far. But of course, obviously now you have to set the float levels and I put the carburetor back together, but no, success. So I'm waiting for parts now. I'm waiting for those T pieces that I ordered. They're aluminium ones with O-rings, so hopefully they'll be A, serviceable, and two, and B, be a lot better, more get more service life out of them. I also have got a new set of needle and seats coming. I might as well do them while we're at it. Obviously that one was leaking, but yeah, look, that had a crack in it, that other carburetor on that bank, and I didn't see it. And when I pulled the float bowl off, the little piece of die cast that had obviously broken away, and it fell out. So lucky for me, as I said, I've got a spare body which I've cleaned up. There's another thing that is worth doing. If you go anywhere they sell paint guns, spray guns, you can buy kits for cleaning spray guns, and they've got great things in them, like different bottle brushes like this, little tip cleaners. These are all brushes, actually, all different size brushes. Little tip cleaners like you get for oxy sets that go quite small, and more little brushes, and these are great for cleaning carburetors. Get into all the little nooks and crannies and crevices. So yep, that body's cleaned up, short of soda blasting it, which I'm not going to bother with. It's as good as new, so I'll put it all together, and of course I'll be able to revisit the part of the carburetor assembly that I missed earlier, where we bench tune them. So we'll set up the butterflies so that they all open at the same time, and go through the float levels. All right, that's it for now. Hopefully somebody out there with a busted Mikuni is going, oh, what a great idea, I can fix that now. So thanks to, I'll put whoever it was, I can't remember who it was, in the XS1100 Classics Facebook page. I don't think you realised it at the time, mate, when you put that photo up, but it was a light bulb moment for me. So yep, thank you for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll be back. Bye for now. I've gone now and cleaned up all of the contact areas where the plates and the friction plates and the clutch plates make contact. So I've filed the basket, and I've filed the pressure plate, and